Disclaimer, this video isn't for children even though I'm talking about My Little Pony, so if you're under 13, please don't watch this video. Since the last episode of My Little Pony came out, people have been fighting over should have the trio been redeemed or not. And by trio, I mean Chrysalis, Closiclo, and Tritrac. And when I see the fan art too, I'm like, yeah, this is a really cool concept. Like, I wanna see it. Like, I wanna see redeemed Chrysalis because it looks so good. And I've done this art myself. But when I start thinking about it, I'm like, where does it all come from? Like, there isn't anything good about these characters in the show. When you look at the show, they don't have episodes where they are good. They are only evil and shown as villains. And yes, there is the one episode and I'm going to get to it. Calm down. But before we start getting into the video too much, I have to say a few things. Even though I feel like it should be obvious, I'm gonna say it. This is my opinion and you can have different opinion. And fighting about opinions like character being redeemed or not redeemed is kind of silly in my opinion. It's like fighting about favorite colors, like I hate green, no, I love green, and you know, that kind of fight. So even if you are against my opinion, don't send me KYS comments because I feel like that's just silly. Other thing that I have to say is that I might struggle with speaking a little bit. It's not only because English isn't my first language, I will do that in my first language too. So it's just weird. I sometimes mess up words and say words wrong, even if I knew how to do it right. It's weird. I'm just bad at speaking, I guess. And my accent might be horrible. I don't hear my accent myself, but I feel like someone else might hear it. So I'm just gonna say that if my accent is horrible, I can fix it. I'm sorry. Other thing that I want to say is that this video is supposed to be low quality video. Like, I'm not putting a lot of effort in this video. It's on purpose because I don't want to give myself a burnout because of this video, because I know how to make good videos, and I know when I try to make a good video I will spend too much time on that and then I get a burnout and then I can't do schoolwork anymore that I should be focusing. So I'm just making low effort video, just something silly and, you know, nothing serious. So let's talk about the characters one by one and why people think they should be redeemed. Side note again, if you hear like motorcycle noises and yelling, I live like next to like really long road that is always almost empty. So these kids with their motorcycles always loved speeding on it and just hanging around just, you know, next to my window. So if you hear them, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it and I hate it too. Okay, let's start with Tritrac and why people think Tritrac should be redeemed. And this is the easiest one. No one actually thinks he should be redeemed, and let me explain. When you watch a video why they should be redeemed, or you read a long Reddit comment or something why they should be redeemed, I feel like every time I've seen those, people always forgot Tritrac. Only time they don't forgot to mention Tritrac is when they say the trio or Closiclo, Chrysalis, and Tritrac, like I said before. And that's the only part where they mention Tritrac. And yes, I heard you saying that what about the one episode, and I swear to God, I'm going to get to it. Just trust the process, I'm going to talk about it, please. And after the 10th time for trying to make this video, I was like, why do I even mention Tritrac? Like, no one cares about him. Even the people who wants them to be redeemed don't care about Tritrac, so why do I care about him? Why do I wasting time of this video to talk about Tritrac? But then I realized it just proves my point even more later, so I'm gonna talk about Tritrac. Well, I'm not going to talk about him anymore because I just did. I already talked about him. So let's move on to Chrysalis and why people want her to be redeemed. And I feel like this one is easy too. It's aesthetics. I feel like people love the idea, the concept, and the, you know, aesthetic of Chrysalis being redeemed. The art is beautiful, the plot idea is beautiful, everything about it is beautiful, and people want that. But we need more than aesthetics, we need more reasoning. And do you get any more reasons? You don't. There isn't any. Chrysalis is always shown as a villain, and there isn't nothing more to her than she's a villain. And, you know, beautiful, I have to say, she's beautiful. That's it. You don't really have any more reasons why she should be redeemed than she would look beautiful, and that's it. Even though this isn't what I'm saying, I have to say that it sounds like I'm saying that there isn't anything more to Chrysalis, like she's just a villain, that's it. No, she's a good villain, but everything everything good about the character is because she's a good villain, and we are now talking about why she should be good character, not villain. I just had to say that side note that I love Chrysalis. There's a reason why she is one of the fan favorites or fan favorite. And now that I say that out loud, I feel like that is one of the reasons why people love redeemed Chrysalis so much. I know there's a theme on kids mostly, but I feel like some teens and adults also have this, but it's mostly seen as kids. Kids are sometimes afraid to like characters that are villains because you should hate these characters. They are villains because kids don't really understand the concept of character writing yet. They only see the character, personality, and they're like, why do I love this character? They are evil. They do horrible things because they don't understand the good writing of the character, and that's why most people love villains, and because they are written so good. Most of the time they also look good. I just have to say that again. Chrysalis looks good. When kids don't understand the reason why they love the character, and they are like, but I'm against what they're doing, like I don't want them to hurt Cadence, but why do I love Chrysalis? These kids don't yet understand that you can love the character but still be against the character's actions because you love the character writing. Many adults have a hard time understanding this concept, and I've seen many times in Helva Boss and Has Been Hotel fandom. So you can just imagine how the kid feels when they are children and not full-grown adults. So I didn't even think about before that this could be a reason why Redeemed Chrysalis is such a big idea, but I feel like it takes big part in it because it's a show for kids. When the kids are like, oh no, why do I love a villain? Like, I shouldn't love a villain. They want the villain to be redeemed, so they are allowed to love her. But they don't realize it that they can still love her even though she's a villain. They are allowed to do that. Why can't I say allowed? Allowed? What the fuck? So people love her. The idea of her representation is because of the aesthetic reason and the thing that I just explained. And let's go into Closey Glow, and this is the hardest one because this is like, some people make it controversial even though it isn't, because some people forgot that these are fantasy characters and real life rules don't, work in My Little Pony. Like, everything that is true in real life isn't true in My Little Pony. These are fantasy creatures. And this one is one of the things that I was like, do I agree or do I not agree? Like, I had to really sit down and be like, am I on the same page as you or am I not? Because this is like really difficult topic to talk about. And it's the fact that Closey Glow is just a child. She's probably like 5, 6, 12. We don't know how old she is, but she's a child. And children can't be evil, and she's just a baby. That's the whole reason. And even though I always have the opinion that fantasy creatures have different rules, I really had to sit down with this one because I hate when Gen Z normalized that joking about hurting kids. I've seen this trend that Gen Z hates children. We already know that Gen Z doesn't want to have babies and they don't want children. But there's that topic that they actually hate them. They joke about hurting them and all of that shit, and it's so normalized in Gen Z that my friends do it. Almost every one of them have done it. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I just said that I don't have friends with a serious tone, and it's just, oh my god, I have to take a moment. So back to the topic. It's really normalized in Gen Z that people joke about hurting babies and hurting children, that it's not shocking when your friends say it. And when you say to your friends that that's fucked up, you are the one that's not being normal. And I find it so sickening. And I'm Gen Z and I'm speaking to other Gen Zs right now. We have to stop this. This is so sick. Even if you don't want your own children, there is no right to talk about children that way. That's so fucking disgusting and fucked up. You have to stop it right now. I'm not going to talk about that anymore because that just gets me so angry, and I don't want to get angry right now. Children can't be born evil, and when child acts out, it's usually they are either don't know yet better and you have to teach them. But when there aren't anyone to teach them the right and wrong, they just continue doing these wrong things until they're grown adults and they are one of those assholes we have to deal with every day. Or the reason is that something in their life is messing them up. Maybe their parents abuse them, maybe their parents neglect them, maybe there's something else or someone else in their life abusing or just, doing wrong to them. And that makes the kids act evil. I hate saying the evil word, but I know that's what people use, so I have to use it too. So people criticize Twilight for not helping Closey Glow because she's just a child and she just turns child into stone because she's too lazy to help her. But we are forgetting the part that Closey Glow is a fantasy character in fantasy show that has dark magic and light magic. And Closey Glow can 100% be born evil. She can be like fucking demon or something because she is not a real child. Things that work in real life and rules in real life don't work in fantasy always. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but in this scenario, Closey Glow definitely can be born evil. If there were anything to show that Closey Glow might be abused, like if she just had one line saying, "Oh, my parents don't like me," I will definitely say that she's just a baby and Twilight is in the wrong for not helping her. But there isn't anything to hint that Closey Glow has dark past about her parents or anyone else in her life for making her act this way. It means that she can be born evil because there isn't any proof against it. Obviously, I still understand the people who say that Closey Glow is just a baby, but I feel like, again, you can't hate on people and say that this is 100% canon and wrong from Twilight because there isn't anything to prove you wrong when you are you can't fight people. These are just opinions because there is nothing in the canon to back you up. We have to remember that this is fantasy show. Now finally, let's talk about the episode. I don't remember the episode name, but I'm gonna show you a picture. This episode, because in this episode, the trio acted really nice to each other. They learned about teamwork and being nice to each other and trusting each other in this episode. And people usually show this episode we had this episode that hinted that they would be redeemed, but they weren't redeemed. What happened? And I feel like you are being a big hypocrite right now. So, the fandom now is saying that this one episode is enough for these characters to be redeemed. Should we talk about Starlight Glimmer again? Should we just, do I have to remind you that you don't like Starlight Glimmer because she was redeemed too fast and there wasn't anything to make her a good character? Do I have to remind you? Do we have to talk about Starlight Glimmer? You are being so hypocritical right now. The one episode is enough for them, but then Starlight isn't enough. Make it make sense. I was going to talk about Starlight Glimmer in this video too, but I feel like she deserves her own video, so I will make that too, but it will come out in 1 month, 2 months, 6 months. So she deserves her own video, so I'm not going to talk about her more because this video will get too long. So if you want to see me talk about Starlight Glimmer, it probably will happen in the future. I don't know. So to end this video, what will happen if they were redeemed? People would hate it. People would be so angry about it and say that it's so annoying that every villain is redeemed now and it's so bad writing and they hate it and they hate it and they hate it. Even the people who now love it and want them to be redeemed, I know that so many of them would be against it if it was real. And it's so weird. Fandoms are so weird sometimes and fans are so weird sometimes. Humans are just weird. I don't know what to say. People love the aesthetics, but if it were real, people wouldn't love it. And sometimes trends and aesthetics and fan art makes us love things that we wouldn't actually love if it were real. Remember when Dazzlings was trending and everyone said that Dazzling should have won? And they were like, how did Rainbow Rocks won? How did they won? Dazzlings was way better. Imagine if Dazzlings actually won and Rainbow Rocks and their main six just died because Dazzlings won and that's the end of Equestria Girls. Obviously you wouldn't have liked that. Obviously you would hate that My Little Pony did that because it's so silly, but you love that as a joke or an idea because you love Dazzlings so much. Again, villains are cool and they look good, but if it actually were true, you wouldn't like that. When these things happen, you realize you can take anything back. You might like the idea of cute Chrysalis, but if Chrysalis was redeemed, you realize that you don't get the gothic evil villain back. You only have this bubbly, cute Chrysalis now. That's something that sometimes fans don't really think about because they like the idea, but they don't realize if it actually were real, they wouldn't like that. And it's a thing that people forget. obviously that's a power of headcanons. You can have headcanons and make AUs about Chrysalis being redeemed without it being actually real, and you still have this cool character that in the actual show, but you can still enjoy the concept of redeemed Chrysalis. And that's the end of this video. To kind of get it all in one sentence, people are hypocritical and people don't realize what they want until they actually have it. But you can still have different opinions. Obviously, if you like those things, you can still like those things. I'm just gonna say that most of the fandom will not like it, and that's just my opinion because I've seen what the fandom's opinions usually are about things. And that's at the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day because you watched this very long video about someone talking about My Little Pony. I'm just gonna leave this in the end because I don't wanna really talk about myself a lot, but I'm just gonna say it. I know my voice is really high and feminine, and you probably think that I'm a girl now, and I don't blame you. I'm just gonna say that I'm really feminine, and it's true, but I'm not a girl, I'm a boy. I hate saying the word femboy because it's so sexualized, and I hate being sexualized even though I'm an adult. Sometimes people just don't want to be even if they are not a minor. Like, we have to normalize that shit. Stop being a I hate the word femboy because it's so sexualized. I don't really know if there's any other word for it other than, oh, I'm gay, because I really hate that I have to say my sexuality to everyone just to explain why I'm feminine. I hate that because people are so against trans people that people just start being transphobic to femboys even though even if they were cis or they weren't cis, it doesn't really matter. People are still mean to them because they hate trans people so much. And I just don't like explaining myself. I feel like when I say, oh, I'm gay, people understand it more, but again, I shouldn't have to say my sexuality to explain how I dress. But I feel like in this world I have to, unless I use the word femboy, and even though that just kind of other side of the same coin. So I'm just gonna say that I'm gay, I guess. Well, I just did it so you already know, so I'm just gonna say that it's because I'm gay and I'm stereotyped. I'm sorry, I'm stereotyped. Like I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. I'm fucking stereotyped.